he does. Three things. First, Nebuchadnezzar is wise in the use of people who are in power. Now pay very careful attention to me this morning. He's wise in the use of people who are in power. The first thing he does is summon the elite class, right? Well, just look at verse 2. Who does he call together? The commoners? The peasants? No. He calls together the elite class, the ruling class, the people with power, the people with persuasion. Look at verse 2. Then King Nebuchadnezzar, he sent to gather the satraps, the prefects, the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the justices, the magistrates, and all the officials of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. And here again, we see this sort of repetition in this passage where that entire list of people that are prominent in their elite status in life, they're listed twice. Why does Daniel list them twice? So that you and I would get the idea here of exactly what Nebuchadnezzar is doing. He's going to use the elite people in prominence, position, and power to compel the rest of us. That's what he's going to do. Okay? So that's actually kind of a brilliant tactic if you're a wicked tyrant dictator. What else does he do? Well, again, it's the repetition that gives us the key here to interpret this passage. Where we have another passage that is repeated multiple times. Did you notice this list of instrumentation here? That can't be an accident. The horn, the pipe, the lyre, the trigon, the harp, the bagpipe, every kind of music. Nebuchadnezzar is going to employ this intellect-dulling entertainment so as to overwhelm the senses of the people. Okay? All of these instruments. You know, this looks like a pretty exciting worship service, by the way. R.C. Sproul, miss him so bad, he used to say that the most exciting worship service in the whole Bible was in Exodus 32. You remember Exodus 32? Remember what worship service that is? It's when they come down and Moses sees them worshiping the golden calf. They're dancing, they're singing, they're having this marvelous time. Sproul says that Exodus 32, the golden calf, is the most exciting worship scene in the whole Bible. I think he's right, except for this one. This is a close second. Because what Nebuchadnezzar is going to do here is he's going to use this vast form of entertainment, this loud, dynamic music. Trust me, if he had big screens and floodlights and fireworks back in 586 BC, I guarantee he would have used all of these things, all of the stage light, all of the stage makeup. He would have used absolutely everything for this loud, glorious worship service. And you know what else? Here's this too. You know what's really nice about all these instruments is that they drown out the screams of those who are about to get burned to death. That's what's helpful about that. Because the third thing that he does, besides the use of power in this intellect-dulling entertainment that he's going to employ, is that he uses the most serious form of fear and intimidation. He's going to wield his tyrannical power here in verse 6. Look at verse 6. Because whoever does not fall down and worship shall immediately be cast into a burning fiery furnace. Now, you always have your conscientious objectors, right? You always have your few people, bold as they are, with their consciences and their courage and their inflexible spines and their steely nerve. There's always a few people out there that are bold enough to say, no, I'm not doing this. Like, this is ridiculous and this is stupid. I'm not falling down to the statue that you made of yourself. And so for those few bold, brave, conscientious objectors, Nebuchadnezzar is willing to heat up the fiery furnace so as to use the utmost of fear and intimidation. Now, I said that idols are windows into the soul, right? So what do we see? Well, listen, the reason why he uses these things is because they work. We, as a people, we are far too prone to follow the elite class into their errors and deceptions. You know that? We are far too prone to listen to people just because they're in power, just because they're in prominence, just because they're in Hollywood, just because they're from D.C., just because they're from Harrisburg, just because they're from Nashville or New York or Las Vegas. We are far too prone to allowing elite people with too much power to control the heart. Nebuchadnezzar knows that, but he does it because it works.